Pikachu has been the mascot of the Pokemon franchise since the very beginning. And like with any popular franchise out there, it's inevitable that copycats pop up. And Pikachu, without a doubt, is the Pokemon that has the most lookalikes, even outside of its evolutionary line. But which Pika clones do we really think Game Freak did a great job creating? And which ones do we wish were given a bit more thought, or just straight omitted from the series altogether? I'm Kyle with Pokebinge, and these are Pika clones ranked worst to best. Now, we'll be ranking each Pikachu lookalike based on their design, their Pokedex entries, and their portrayal in the anime, not on their strength in terms of moveset or gameplay. Starting out at the very bottom and taking the spot for our worst Pika clone, we have to take a trip down to the Alola region for the roly-poly Pokemon, Togedemaru. With a simple slight oval-shaped body, in addition to their lightning bolt-shaped tail with just a few colored markings on their back, Togedemaru doesn't seem like a Pokemon that really got too much attention when the Sun and Moon games were in development. Where Togedemaru's in-game behavior is concerned, the roly-poly Pokemon takes advantage of their dual steel/electric type, and will literally stab others with their metal fur before electrocuting them. The only good thing we can say about Togedemaru is the behavior that Sophocles has in the anime. It does seem to care deeply for its trainer, and the two have a very close relationship, though it isn't above attacking Sophocles either. That said, we're ranking Togedemaru last mainly due to the fact that it's our least favorite design. It's kinda like a Pikachu if you were to just squish him into a fat little ball. Now, even though we're not including Pikachu itself in this ranking, we are going to include both of its evolutions. So say hello to our next entrant, the tiny mouse Pokemon, Pichu. Babies are cute, sure, but really that's the only thing that can be said about Pichu. They're baby Pikachus. But Pichus lack their two future evolutions' more distinguishing features though, such as the lightning bolt-shaped tail, and when Pichu attempts to use their electricity, they end up hurting themselves out of lack of experience. In the anime, Pichu typically acts like a small child would, which usually means they can be petulant brats at times if their emotions run wild. With downgrading the features of what makes Pikachu the icon of the series, and making them a smaller, compact version, we have to rank Pichu second from the bottom. Now give a cheer for our next two Pokemon because both Plusle and Minun are up next. At first glance, both of these guys look a bit like Pichu with different coloring and markings. Plusle and Minun, however, do have quite a bit more going for them than the first Pokemon in the Pikachu line. Like their Pokedex title suggests, Plusle and Minun care deeply for their friends and cheer them on either in battle or in other life activities. And we have to admit, taking the terms opposites attract and making a pair of Pokemon based on that is a really cool concept. And seeing as how Plusle and Minun work extremely well together, we really like them. Not the most creative design as far as Pika clones go, but you can't not like the cheering Pokemon. Scurrying into our next spot, we have the electric squirrel Pokemon, Pachirisu. When it comes to energy, Pachirisu probably has the most out of the Pika clones, as these Pokemon are known to be pretty hyper. And as seen in the anime, Pachirisu, specifically Dawn's Pachirisu, is a really playful Pokemon to boot, sometimes releasing electric shocks to play jokes on other Pokemon. We do have to dock it a couple points for design. Yes, it's a very cute squirrel Pokemon. Maybe not the most creative of designs, but still fun and with a lot of personality in the anime. Shake hands with our next entries, the hands-on Pokemon, the Pommet line. Outside of the official Pikachu line, the Pommet line is the only Pokemon line that actually evolves amongst the lookalikes. But as Pawmi, Pawmo, and Pawma were just introduced in Scarlet and Violet, our knowledge of the hands-on Pokemon is fairly limited. True, Scarlet and Violet did introduce some pretty unique ways to evolve certain Pokemon, with Pawmo only being able to evolve into Pawmot if you use the Let's Go feature of the game, and allow Pawmo to take 1,000 steps outside of their Pokeball. While Pawmi doesn't have the dual typing of electric and fighting, both Pawmo and Pawma do have that combo, and use that dual typing to electrify the pads on their forepaws before striking their opponents. And let's be real, their designs are a lot of fun. Specifically the tufts of hair on top of their heads. that give them the appearance that they might go Super Saiyan. Swooping into our next spot, we have the Sky Squirrel Pokemon, Emolga. There have been flying versions of Pikachu in the past, most recently in the Pokemon TCG, but Emolga takes to the sky without use of balloons or any other kind of assistance. Thanks to the thin flaps of skin that connect their arms to their bodies, Emolga is able to fly with the greatest of ease. And with a normally cheerful expression, coupled with their flying squirrel-like bodies and lightning bolt-shaped tail, Emolga is undoubtedly a cute and charming Pokemon. And with their habit of using the electricity they produce to grill whatever berries they come across, Emolga has some smarts to their name as well. However, it is their excessive love of food that brings Emolga down a bit. There are some Pokedex entries of Emolga stuffing their cheeks so full of berries that they're unable to even fly properly. And in the anime, Emolga becomes a Pokemon of one of the characters in the show, this time Iris. And although the relationship is pretty good, Emolga has been seen to be pretty manipulative on multiple occasions, more often than not, as a way to get food from others. But come on, a flying squirrel design is awesome, so you can't help but love Emolga. You better keep plenty of snacks on hand for our next Pikachu lookalike, because next is the two-sided Pokemon, Morpeko. Ordinarily, Morpeko seems like a pretty happy-go-lucky Pika clone, but when its desire for munchies kicks in, their personality completely changes, as Morpeko is the only Pokemon that has the ability Hunger Change. If they don't have a full belly, Morpeko will swap their usual electric type to the dark type as well. And as seen in the anime, like with Emolga and Iris, after James becomes partners with Morpeko, the two-sided Pokemon can cause quite a bit of trouble for James, usually when food is involved. And while Morpeko is more of a troublemaker than Emolga, we are ranking the two-sided Pokemon just a bit higher, because their attitude is one of the most relatable in the Pokemon universe. Everybody has been hangry at one point or another. Up next, taking our bronze medal for Pika clone, we have the antenna Pokemon, Dedenne. With their antenna-like whiskers and extension cord-like tail, Dedenne is not only an electric-type Pokemon, but they thrive on it. It will break into anywhere and plug their tails into electrical outlets to charge up their bodies and help boost their powers. In the anime, Dedenne is a Pokemon of Bonnie's, and while at first it doesn't really give Bonnie too much attention due to her young age, throughout the course of the show, the two become extremely close, and Bonnie is not the only character that Dedenne has a close relationship with, sharing a sibling-like relationship with Ash's Pikachu and Goodra. Having this strong relationship with others does help boost Dedenne's ranking, but if we're being totally honest, just the mental picture of this Pokemon's adorable antics, of breaking and entering into places only to charge up their bodies via their tail, is why we gave Dedenne the bronze medal for Pika clone. Now we get to our top two. We're giving the silver medal to the final Pokemon in the original Pikachu line, that of course being Raichu. Unlike some of our previous entries on the list, Raichu doesn't really have a huge presence in the anime, due to not being partnered with a main character, as Ash's Pikachu flat out refuses to evolve. Where Raichu is seen the most, however, is way back in the Kanto region of the show, where Lieutenant Surge used Raichu as his Pokemon of choice. And like Surge, Raichu seemed to adopt the Darwinistic mindset where only the strong survive, and look down on Ash's Pikachu purely because Raichu believed that Pikachu was much weaker. After Ash and Pikachu were able to defeat the duo though, Raichu, along with Lieutenant Surge, acknowledges their shortcomings and develops respect for Ash and Pikachu. Raichu is a classic pocket monster even if it is outshined by his more popular previous evolution. Plus the fact that Raichu has a regional form in Alola, where they use their tails as a makeshift surfboard, adds a lot of cool points as well. Finally, we get to the top of our list, with the winner of the gold medal for Pikachu clone, which we're awarding to the disguised Pokemon, Mimikyu. That's right, a Pokemon whose actual form is a mystery to us, and is just cosplaying as the icon of Pokemon. And the main reason we're giving it the gold medal is because of its backstory. In the games, Mimikyu has taken to dressing up in their best, but still quite sad, Pikachu costume as a way to become as beloved as Pikachu themselves. And with their signature Z move in Sun and Moon, Let's Snuggle Forever, that speaks volumes of Mimikyu's desire for closeness with others. But if we turn our attention to the anime, Mimikyu, more specifically Jesse's Mimikyu, is completely opposite from how they're presented in the games. Rather than wishing to be a beloved and admired Pikachu, Jesse's Mimikyu despises Pikachu more than anything else. And where this deep-seated hatred comes from, it really isn't all too clear, as whenever Jessie asks what Mimikyu is saying, the request is refused by Meowth out of fear, but for the adorable yet highly breakable cosplay they put on, as well as their dark backstories. We feel like Mimikyu is the clear winner for Best Pikachu Clone. But let us know what you think of our ranking in the comment section below. What is your favorite Pikachu clone? Be sure to hit that notification bell and binge our other Pokemon videos. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.